my lovely people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jane. This is the first time that you are seeing me. Thank you so much for stopping by. My return subscribers, I love you. Africa is rising indeed. Oh my God. Oh my God. Africa is rising indeed. It might not be rising in Nigeria. They might not be standing up for their rights. They might not be protesting. But Africa is rising. Africa is speaking. Africa is showing that, hey, this government is not for you guys. Africa is showing. And who are we going to give all this credit? Abraham Traore. Because if Abraham Traore did not come up, if Abraham Traore did not challenge these people, if Abraham Traore did not say no to criminality, other Africans or the youth will not wake up and said we're going to support Abraham. So I saw this video. Hey God, this is a video to share, please. This is a video to share so that we can wake up the ones that don't want to wake up, because a lot of them don't want to wake up, like Nigeria. Nigeria don't want to wake up. If they stand and they say, oh, they will run inside. That's exactly what they did in Kenya. When Kenya put all this, sign this, bring this, when Kenyan people jumped out, didn't Kenya, Ruto or whatever his name is, ran out of the place, and they ended up dropping out all those things that they were tax this, tax that. They end up dropping every one of them because the people came out and spoke. Now, I saw this video. Thanks to Abraham. Abraham must get credit for what is happening in Africa now. Because if not for him, before him, what was happening? Children of Nigeria came out to come and protest for hunger. Ahmed Bola Tinubu said he's going to to come and protest for hunger. Ahmed Bola Tinubu said he's going to buy them. He's going to charge them for treason for coming to protest for hunger. So Ahmed Bola Tinubu said that. The head of police, he said that they will be arresting people that are coming out, or they will be arresting people that are talking bad about politicians, about pastors. They will start arresting them. The so-called one that is in charge of this stupid woman said that our number one is to start picking up people that are talking on the social media, trying to disrespect people. I can't understand. Tell me how that is governance. But I saw this video. I thought I'd put it here so that you will see how Africa is rising, and kudos to Abraham Traore, because Abraham Traore has opened eyes for a lot of people. A lot of people are shining your eyes, no matter what part of Africa that you are. Let us support Abraham Traore, because what he's doing is showing. Look at these girls. Look at these girls, how they broke internet. They broke internet trying to tell the leaders of Africa to wake up. Leaders of Africa, wake up and follow Abraham Traore, because what you are getting is pennies, unless you don't care about the people. Listen to the video. When you finish, please share it from me to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.
How many more years would it take to build the walls of Africa? Because I was only 3 when I was made to believe that Africa is like a building under construction. And right now I'm over 23, and this continent still feels like it's stuck in its foundations. Because tell me why we have the Dangote capacity, yet our infrastructures are still built on structures that scream scarcity. Tell me why we have tech bros in Nairobi, Kenya and South Africa, yet we are still suffering digital malaria. Tell me why Africa is walking naked when we have Vicky James, who snatches creativity like the art of Akosed or Tebe Magugo, who weaves stories while making clothing, or Sheyi Vodi, whose fashion empire began with a dream and not a body. Why are we like a song without reading, when the blood within our veins carries the beat of Fela and Nicolas Bokuti? When our voice still carries the power of the songs of Lucky Dube? And yes, we are strong, but when we choose to, we are soft as the voice of Brenda Fassie. So how dare the world call us poor? How dare the world say we are weak? How dare them say that we are not strong? When the wealth of Africa keeps the world's phone ringing, how dare them say that we are underdeveloped? When our sweat built their castles. So I am here to remind you that Africa is no longer that continent that is underdeveloped, because we are a generation of builders, idea crafters, system shakers. We're a generation of men and women who build with bricks of knowledge, mortar of innovation, and raises towers of transformation. Because Africa is that content creator, turning 10-second clips into 10,000 life lessons. Africa is that tech bro who is still coding under flickering lights. Africa is that painter who is throwing colors of paint on walls where hopes has been lost. Africa is that entrepreneur who is feeding his family and more from an akara store. And trust me, this is that part they won't show you on TV. This is that part you won't see on the Western headlines. Because when they gave us chains, we turned them into jewelries. And when they gave us broken pieces, we made them arts. And when they gave us borrowed names, we renamed ourselves. This is why there are 7 continents in the world, but the future keeps pointing towards Africa. And right now, we are tired of their pity parties. One that ends up leaving us with souvenirs of debts. We are tired of borrowing, because we are the mother of civilization, and mothers don't beg, we bet. So right now, we are betting the revolution we need, the transformation we stand for, the Africa that we want to see. Because Africa is like a delicacy in process, and for every delicacy to be made, it takes time, and we are cooking. Check out our farmers, our tech bros, our lawyers, our teachers. We are fire and we are cooking. So this is me telling that young man who still believes in the future of Africa, telling that young girl who braids hair in the morning yet studies with candlelights at night, reminding you that this Africa that we seek is one that we can raise with our own hands. So never again would we go back to the world begging for aid, because we are no longer that chick that depends on the white for food. So right now, I am reminding you that they say that greatness is never built in a day, and the Africa that we seek would be built over time when we decide to rise, when we decide to take our responsibility, when we decide to focus on what we want and the nation, the continent we seek. Thank you.
Here is another bold speech from Young Lady that has touched the hearts of millions across Africa.
The piece I'll be reciting today is a letter to the children of Sahel. Have you met her? The Sahel. She carries weight, walks with grace, possesses power, homes the most beautiful people. On her shoulders rests her nations, on her lands her minerals. She is beautiful, she is strong, confident, rich and smart. She wouldn't let the chaos fill her mind. She reminds us, as I read this letter, to keep her safe, that nothing in this world would break us, that she stands firm to rise beyond borders, to rise beyond enemy lines, to remain and unbroken, to remember that her land keeps memories, sad and happy ones. But she implores us to fight and never back down. There is hope, to healing, strength, prayers. This is for you. Regardless of shackles, regardless of truths, regardless of lies, regardless of people, this letter is for you. Dear children of Sahel, There are many versions of this story, told by many preachers, sculptors, poets. This author will speak. This author will bite, chew, and spit without remorse. This author will open books you've hidden. She will speak of the past, of men and many others before, a place, a region, a continent, a people unified in ambition, integrity, where the soil understood the language of spades. Men had compassion for the weak. Every book had a home, and every pen knew history. Knowledge then laid carpets on every street before your cousin Timbuktu of ours and burned the library. Men then stood firm with their buckles tight, before blades were switched for dresses. You think GMOs could be compared to organics? Don't misinterpret delusion for reality. You talk about wealth. We're the people of Africa, rich in culture, knowledge, minerals like you've never seen before. A system built not on blood and greed, a learned people. Bodies healthy enough to serve a lifetime. Their food wasn't tampered with. They knew technology and architecture too. Does it surprise you? They had laws that served God. It was fair and not disingenuous. A system that distinguishes the wealthy and the needy. Not one that takes a piece of your mind for a piece of your minds. Not one with an invisible hand to rule. Not one built on fiscal illusion and a hidden economy. This should be a better and different governance. Not one with an order for a new world, a game of chess. Betrayal as a peak element, a great hypocrisy to divide and conquer, and oh, they scramble for our lands. And anyone with a shred of knowledge, kill them all, except for traditions and language. Everything was taken from us, including our titles of royalty. Now what happens when you strip a people of their history and patch up a new one? Establish a hollow wood to project a Hollywood story, a perfect indoctrination. Introduce human rights right after their genocide, the cover-up. But what is a crown without an honest king? What is a throne without its people? What is vision without reality? What is knowledge without the past? What is advancement without us, without God? What is truth? I'll tell you. Truth is the man executed for being honest. Truth is a child manipulated to believe he's of a different gender. Truth is a man who creates a problem, offers a solution, then seeks for a bonus. Truth is a man who creates a problem. Truth is a facade of independence, the ownership of 90% of our resources. Truth is the fight, blood for the 10% we so own. Truth is the system rigged to suit a few ties and bows and economic terrorism. Truth fights. Truth governs. Fights in truth for truth. Lies lie still. Dressed in political gowns, legislative watches, and leather government shoes, convincing us that subservience is right and exploitation is growth. Lies create middlemen to pursue an agenda. I see lies as a bowl of poison, decorated with ugly power. I see lies as an intrusive thought, hell-bent on punishing my thoughts for thinking right thoughts. I see lies as a soldier working against my mind to dig out God's words in exchange for sinning contracts. Lies aren't always a beautiful picture with sparkles and pearls hanging by your bedroom door. Lies are also a prison you do not know of. They said our freedom cost too much. Well, they couldn't afford it. They also said they could be our light. Well, how could they possibly protect us when they hide in the dark? These lies. Listen, how much poison do we take until we can't anymore? What stories are we going to choose to tell? What's our narrative? Our path? Do we tend to live in and for the box like democracy, a beautiful sin? We can't speak the same language because my tongue is tied to the bruises of our past. We need an amendment. The shackles of this prison and the foreseen doom of our future. Like a retired body language, I am tired of reading their rules. How are you going to teach me leadership skills when your pillars are broken? How are you going to teach me rights when you can't right the wrongs? When you right the wrongs? When you right the wrongs? God made us locks impenetrable. He made us shadows to walk on all sides but never against us. Take a look at the mirror and tell me you are not beautiful. Understand you're worth more than pricing. Understand. Tell me God made a mistake. And I swear on my life I will look away walking. I won't try to show you how perfectly fitting our Sahel pieces patch their ceilings. You don't need a traveler's guide. You're a map of beauty and riches. Look closely. Like soldier mannequins, find and fight for your people. Like a man and his skin. Like a man and his kin. Our way of life is preserved. For without purpose, problems punish people possessed through pleasing. Now hear me. Today, we begin with a step, a revolution. This present-day Sahel airs the difference, taking back control of our resources. Wear her like a coat in winter. Have your gold reserves button you up. Tie your suits in your own currency. And as you walk, diplomacy, laws, and treachery will follow like a neatly structured disease. Don't look back. Take ownership and walk. Brush off those dusty loans. Pay it all back. No more strings. Cleanse your nation of impurities and unite with better governance. Rebuild, rewrite, and own it. Yours truly, Sahel.
Across the vibrant and diverse continent of Africa, a powerful wave of change is surging, driven by the indomitable spirit of its youth. From Nairobi to Lagos, Maputo to Accra, young Africans are no longer sitting idly by as their dreams are stifled by systemic corruption, economic mismanagement, and political stagnation. In 2024, dubbed the Year of the Youth Uprising, African youths have embraced bold, innovative strategies to confront their leaders head-on, demanding accountability, justice, and a future that reflects their aspirations. This Pan-African movement, fueled by a generation that refuses to be silenced, is reshaping the continent's political landscape with unprecedented courage and creativity. In Kenya, the Reject Finance Bill 2024 movement saw young people, often referred to as Gen Z, take to the streets in a leaderless, tribeless, and partyless uprising. Sparked by outrage over a punitive finance bill that threatened to deepen economic woes, these protests transcended traditional ethnic and political divides. Kenyan youths leveraged social media platforms like Twitter and WhatsApp to organize, share strategies, and amplify their demands, forcing President William Ruto to withdraw the controversial bill and implement significant government reforms. However, the cost was steep, with Human Rights Watch reporting abductions, arrests, and deaths of protesters between June and August 2024, highlighting the brutal resistance from authorities. In Nigeria, the #Fearless October movement built on the legacy of the 2020 #EndSARS protests, with youths rallying against soaring living costs and poor governance. The August 2024 protests, inspired by Kenya's success, saw thousands demand economic reforms in cities like Lagos and Abuja. Despite government attempts to suppress these demonstrations, culminating in the shocking charging of 76 individuals, including 30 minors, with treason, the Nigerian youth remain undeterred, using digital tools to bypass state-controlled media and mobilize effectively. Mozambique's recent protests in Maputo further underscore this continental awakening. Following the Frelimo party's declared landslide victory in the October 2024 elections, young Mozambicans accused the ruling elite of electoral fraud and cronyism. Their demonstrations, met with police brutality, reflect a broader rejection of aging leadership disconnected from a population where 70% are under 30. The chant, "The corrupt are messing with a wrong generation," has become a rallying cry, echoing across Africa's urban centres. This new wave of activism is distinct in its strategies. Unlike past movements often co-opted by political elites or silenced by repression, today's African youth employ decentralized, tech-savvy approaches. Social media has become their megaphone, enabling rapid mobilization and global visibility. For instance, Kenyan protesters adopted tactics like applying toothpaste under their eyes to counter tear gas, a technique borrowed from Palestinian and Black Lives Matter activists, showcasing a global exchange of resistance strategies. Additionally, groups like Senegal's Y'en a Marre and Burkina Faso's Balai Citoyen have inspired cross-border solidarity, with young activists sharing knowledge and resources to challenge entrenched power structures. Historically, African youth have been pivotal in driving change. The 1976 Soweto uprising in South Africa, where students protested against the imposition of Afrikaans in schools, ignited a global anti-apartheid movement and contributed to the regime's eventual downfall in 1994. Similarly, Sudan's 2019 protests led to a coalition government with the military, a rare success in sustaining post-protest political influence. Today's movements build on this legacy, but are uniquely equipped with digital tools and a globalized worldview, making them harder to suppress. Yet, the challenges are immense. African governments, aware of the youth bulge, 60% of the continent's population is under 25, have fortified their repressive arsenals with surveillance, internet shutdowns, and laws curbing freedoms of expression. In Ghana, a high court blocked protests in Accra, citing concerns over unrest, while in Nigeria, authorities have labelled youth movements as threats to national security. Despite these obstacles, the youth remain resolute, driven by a great time discontinuation post-COVID-19, where economic collapse and social trauma have fueled their demand for systemic change. The rise of young leaders like Senegal's Bassirou Diomaye Faye, elected as Africa's youngest president in 2024, signals a shift toward youth-driven governance. Faye's ascent, following Macky Sall's decision not to seek re-election, was propelled by the Yen Amare movement's relentless activism. In Burkina Faso, the 2022 uprising led by young activists challenged corruption, while in Uganda, figures like Bobi Wine continue to inspire youth to confront authoritarianism through music and street protests. The African Youth Uprising of 2024 is not merely a series of protests. It is a clarion call for a reimagined Africa, one where the energy, creativity, and aspirations of its young people shape the future. This generation, armed with digital tools, global solidarity, and an unyielding commitment to justice, is dismantling the old guard's grip on power. From the streets of Maputo to the digital battlegrounds of Lagos, they are crafting a narrative of hope, resilience, and accountability. Their strategies, leaderless movements, cross-border collaboration, and innovative protest tactics signal a break from the past, where protests were often co-opted or crushed. However, the path forward demands more than courage. African governments must heed the youth's demands, not with repression, but with genuine dialogue and reforms that address corruption, unemployment, and inequality. The continent's leaders, averaging 62 years old, must bridge the generational gap with a population whose median age is 19, or risk further unrest. The youth, as the continent's demographic powerhouse, are not just demanding a seat at the table, they are building their own. By fostering liberatory education, inclusive governance, and economic opportunities, Africa can harness this youthquake for transformative progress. As a Pan-Africanist, I see this moment as a testament to the continent's unbreakable spirit. The youth are not just the future, they are the present, rewriting Africa's story with every march, tweet, and demand for justice. Let us rally behind them, amplify their voices, and work collectively to build an Africa that reflects their dreams, a continent where power serves the people, not the elite. The corrupt are indeed messing with the wrong generation, and the world is watching as Africa's youth lead the charge toward a brighter, more equitable tomorrow.